all our blowers and fans doing their jobs? It only takes a second to look. Do all our gauges read properly? If one doesn't, that should be checked out. Do you sometimes smell gas when working with certain equipment? Well, report this immediately. Do you sometimes get a signal of trouble? A tripped circuit breaker or a blown fuse? If so, the problem should be investigated before resetting the breaker. Does the equipment you're using seem to be working right? That you can usually tell better than anyone else. After all, you are the one who uses us regularly. You know us almost like a friend. If there's a sudden change in the sound we make, or the way we work, or the way we feel, report it. Sometimes with new equipment, you may be uncertain as to proper operation. Read the operator's manual or ask your supervisor, and never guess. Find out.
That's very...
In running, any of us work with us, not against us. Be sure not to overload. Put in the amount that we're made to handle. Always select the right setting and watch the time of operation. Any of us left on high speed for too long a time may be damaged. Some of us, such as deep fat fryers, require ample time for warm-up before we're put into use. And whenever you find one of us isn't working properly, don't wait. Tell your supervisor. Your good sense is the key factor, and we count on you to use it. Remember, too, that keeping us clean and well-maintained makes your job easier and safer, and it doesn't involve all that much extra work. Now, let's go over the main points again. Detachable parts should be washed in the sink. Before cleaning any electrical equipment, it must be unplugged. Or if gas-operated, the gas turned off. Cleaning is important as soon as possible after each use. Be careful not to get water in the motor or gearbox. Use the right cleaning agent and the right clean tools. Look for hidden parts that need attention. The best time for inspection is just after a thorough cleaning. Carefully examine all electrical cords. Make sure all exterior parts are secured tightly. Inspect all blades and cutting edges to make sure they're clean and sharp. Check your door seals. Be on the watch for oil leaks around the motor and gearboxes. Check all our lubricant levels and follow the lubrication schedule. Use us as we're intended to be used. Don't overload or run us at the wrong setting. Be sure to report any irregularity in our operation as soon as you notice it. And if you notice any equipment problems, tell your supervisor immediately. It's really a matter of your taking the time to care. And evidence of your overall pride is the job that you do. Whatever your job in the kitchen today, from the chef with years of experience to the youngest, newest employee, your kitchen equipment is there to help you. But how well we can do that depends on how well you do your part in our care, our maintenance, and our everyday use. After all, we're in it together. In one of the most important businesses in the world. And we are partners.
Food service business, you will soon discover that it takes all kinds to make a world. Sooner or later, you begin to think you've seen them all. And about then, a brand new specimen appears.
you, miss? I mean, sir, I'm sorry, but I thought...
Well, whatever they are, it's your job to serve them all equally well. Your job isn't just food service, after all. It's people service. People are individuals, each one unique and different from every other one. But when we go out to eat, most of us want essentially about the same thing. People service. It means you've got to keep them all happy and keep them coming back. You're supposed to do it with good service and with something called courtesy. That's easy enough to say, but what does it mean? Smile a lot? Sure. But there's more to courtesy than that. Some days you probably find yourself asking, what do they want from me? And if you do ask yourself that, you're off to a good start. People are individuals, each one unique and different from every other one. But when we go out to eat, most of us want essentially about the same things. Use your imagination. Ask yourself, what would I want if I were in her shoes? Go on, let yourself go. What do you want when you're all ready to spend your hard-earned cash on a special lunch or an evening out? You want to be treated as a welcome guest, right?
Hello there. May I have your name, please?
Baker, Marilyn Baker.
And you're Miss Baker?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. We should be able to seat you in just a few moments.
Thank you.
Just a smile and a friendly greeting. But already you're beginning to feel a little special. Now, people also like to be remembered, called by name.
Mr. Blake, I can seat you now, sir. Follow me, please.
You also want to be respected, treated as equal with others. Like him. He's just asking for fair treatment. Now, if the host is smart, he'll...
Hey, what's going on? I've been waiting for a table for 20 minutes, sir, but Mr. Blake had a reservation. Oh, sorry, but I can seat you now. Thank you.
Good, he did. He saw the problem and explained to the guest. That little extra courtesy even made Marilyn feel better. It's your first time in this restaurant, and first impressions are very important. The host, alert and friendly. The busboy, a polite smile and quietly efficient.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
The waitress at the next station, smiling, doing a good job. Looks like a very nice place. But where's your waitress? Sure, you know where she is, in the back, picking up orders. But the average guest doesn't think about that.
The waitress will be with you in just a second. May I give you a menu? Yes, thank you.
Great, first class. Now you feel you're really welcome here. Not an intruder, but a guest. Well, here she is, Marilyn. Your own waitress.
May I take your order now, please?
Well, this is a switch. But maybe it will help us to make a point. Always try to think, if I were waiting on myself, what would I look for in a waiter or waitress? That smile, for example. Is it something you stick on your face, or is it genuine? What you want as a guest is not just a smile, though that's important. But what you really want is to be treated like a human being. If people wanted nothing more than fast, efficient service, machines would replace people overnight. All they want from a machine is the product. They expect something more from human waiters and waitresses. A smile, a little warmth, a little sympathy. That's something extra we call courtesy. And here's an interesting fact. people can be very hard on machines when they don't work with absolute perfection. Attitude in a human waitress or waiter can make up for an occasional goof.
Oh, I ordered the chef's salad. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the wrong order. That's all right. We all make mistakes.
Most people don't expect perfection. They just want to be served by a pleasant human being. From beginning to end, a pleasant experience. And what do you remember? The food? Sure. But the glow you take home isn't just from a full stomach. It's the glow of being treated as a person.
Oh, goodbye. Thank you for being with me. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
A welcome, respected, appreciated guest.
Well, good night now. You come back and see us again, will you?
Thank you. I certainly will.
And that glow, after all, is what it's all about. People. They come in all sizes, colors, shapes, and dispositions. The big spenders and their big tips. The little old ladies with their special diets. Families with their cute and sometimes messy children. Teenagers with their noise and their limited fun. The tourists. The people who celebrate a bit too much. The businessmen. The career girls. The list goes on and on. And you've got to be polite and helpful to every one of them. Smile and say please and thank you, even when you think they don't deserve it. All in the name of courtesy.
That come in here. Our so-called customers.
You've had a hard day?
The worst. Ask her. It has been rough.
What's your job?
I'm the hostess.
Exactly what happened?
Everything. Oh, the cranks, the chronic complainers, the picky ones. Why, they all came in at once. It was like a plague.
Really terrible?
A disaster. Ask Joe.
She's right. And we've been driven up the wall.
You're the busboy?
Right. And they're telling you true. It was pretty awful around here today.
I hope I never see another day like today.
We've all had bad days like this one, when everything seems to go wrong at once. But whoever said this was an easy job?
Yes, but they order something and then they say they haven't even ordered it. They claim the steaks are too well done when they haven't even tried them. The coffee's cold, the soup's too hot.
They want plain water instead of ice water.
How can you be pleasant and polite to people when they're so difficult?
The basic rules of courtesy seem simple enough. Let's review some of the most important ones. Your first duty is to treat every customer as your guest, to make his visit a pleasant one. This means replying briefly and courteously if he starts a conversation, but never starting a conversation yourself about matters not connected with your duties. And never keep others waiting while you converse with a talkative guest. Treat people fairly and equally, not playing favorites, not turning on the charm for some and turning off on others. Never be sarcastic or fresh with any guest. Suit the style of your service to the guest. If they are in a hurry, provide speedy service without running pell-mell back and forth to the kitchen. Courtesy also extends to your fellow employees. While discussing your duties during mealtime, remember to keep your voices down. Never shout across a dining room or discuss personal affairs in front of the guests. Nothing must intrude upon the guests' feeling that you are here to serve them. Remember the importance of a smile and a pleasant manner at all times, even if a guest is critical and complains about the food or service. Complaints about food should be reported immediately to your manager. It's his job to go into the matter further with the guest. Those are some of the basic rules, and they all add up to making a genuine effort at all times to please your guests.
Yeah, that sounds easy. But some days nothing goes right.
I agree with Joe. It's easy enough to remember the rules, but making them work, that's another story.
Courtesy means liking people. That's the inside story.
But I do like people. We all do. But getting them to see it, that's the problem.
The secret of courtesy is showing people that you like them. Feeling it just isn't enough. Let's go over some of the problems you ran into today and get the inside story on them, all right?
Okay.
Joe, you lost your cool when that girl asked you for water without ice, like she was putting you on. Did you figure that she may have had a problem with her teeth, and ice water makes them hurt? Try to understand that people sometimes have good reasons for the requests they make. Courtesy means seeing the difficult guest as a challenge. It's a test of your ability to see if you can help them enjoy themselves. The girl was alone. Maybe all she wanted was just a little extra attention. Louise, there's often a personal problem back of the chronic complainer. First it was the salad, now it's the steak. Maybe the two of them aren't getting along. Maybe it's a business worry. Whatever it is, remember that it isn't anything you've done. Don't take it personally. If there's a real problem, correct it immediately and courteously. But Mary, try to take things in stride. A difficult guest will often apologize for putting you out, and many of them will come back again if you learn to put up with their moods. Remember that all people aren't alike, but a smile and a little patience will often pay off in the end. Now, we're not suggesting that the customer is always right. Come here, Daddy, baby. The real tough ones, the impossible drunk, the guy who makes a pass, these you have to leave to your supervisor if they really get out of control. But most of the time, inside, they're just people. And if you work at it, you can win them over.
You know, I never thought about her being alone like that. I thought she was just trying to bug me.
And I guess I let things pile up. To tell the truth, I had some problems at home today that were sort of weighing me down. Well, maybe I did take things too personally. But it was such a madhouse in there. I know. I guess I didn't work hard enough either. I felt interested in the guests, but I suppose I really didn't show it.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Maybe with a little effort, tomorrow will be better. I certainly hope so.
Tomorrow will be better and easier, too, if you work at it. How's that for the inside story? It begins with care of the skin and beard for men, and good grooming from head to toe. Thoughtfulness also includes being conscious of what you do with your hands when you're in the public eye. Once you're on duty, it is too late to wash and iron a fresh uniform. Keep them starched and clean, and watch all the details of good grooming, as you would if you were about to entertain important guests, because you are. Waitresses must also be aware that jewelry can cause problems. Bracelets, necklaces, and rings all get in the way of your work. For your comfort and safety, remember that good-fitting, well-heeled shoes provide the stability you need for good posture and health. They are part of the overall you, from toe to head, a last-minute inspection. And there she is, the image of cleanliness and charm.
Thank you very much, sir, and do call again. Thank you, we'll do that.
They will come back, and they'll probably tell their friends about the clean, efficient, and friendly service they receive. And Leo has been an important part of a very enjoyable evening. He's efficient. They haven't forgotten that. People appreciate cleanliness, too. And warm hospitality, well, it also has its rewards. Tips are nice things to have, so here's another one. Waiters and waitresses are the personal contact between their restaurant and its guests. The hospitality, efficiency, and cleanliness of your place of employment depend very much upon you and how well you project its image of service. How you look when it counts. Moment of truth.
May I take your order now, please?
Yes, we certainly may.
May I take your order, sir? Yes, I'd like,
Are you ready to order now, sir?
Yes, we're ready, but we can't decide. What do you suggest?
Yes, the moment when the menu meets the order pad. That's the moment of truth. A full order check is no accident. It separates the salesman from the order taker. Which are you? The transaction is complete, a happy one for all concerned, including our waitress, who picks up a nice tip. But wait a second. What made this such a successful transaction? What did she do right? Pat has learned the importance of a thorough knowledge of her menu. She makes it a daily habit to check the special of the day and to note any changes in the items listed. She makes sure she knows something about each dish. And if the chef comes up with something different, she isn't afraid to ask questions. She finds out what the ingredients of different dishes are and how long they take to prepare. This can be very important when a guest asks for suggestions. A good salesman must know his product, and Pat does. Her success is no accident. She works at it. Knowing your menu is important, but so is knowing people.
May I take your order now?
Let's analyze Mr. Average Guest and find out what influences his choice of items. We'll take it for granted he isn't dieting or allergic to anything. All right? What sells him?
I just don't know.
The undecided diner. Is the menu going to help him? Not much. Right now it's just confusing him. The real salesman in this situation is you. You can turn his appetite on and off. How?
I just can't seem to make up my mind. What's good today? Did you ever try our specialty? It's beef stroganoff. It's cooked in a delicious wine sauce. Our chef prepares it exceptionally well. Okay, sounds great. I'll take it.
Thank you. Well, now, he might have been thinking of something less expensive, but he was sold the beef stroganoff. A less skilled waiter might have said, "It's all good today," or "The stroganoff is good." But Roger knows better. He understands the art of suggestion. The statement, "The stroganoff is good," is nothing more than information. The mental picture it creates is colorless. But watch. Did you ever try our specialty, beef stroganoff? It is served with a delicious wine sauce. Our chef prepares it exceptionally well. This is what is created in the mind's eye of the guest by the power of suggestion. The art of suggestion can work for you throughout the meal. For example, selling the appetizer. Notice he does not say, "Would you like an appetizer?" No, he says,
Perhaps you would like to start with our chilled tomato juice or with our fresh fruit cup?
The fresh fruit cup sounds very good. I'll have that.
Notice that George made his suggestion colorful, but he also made it specific. He named only 2 items to give his guest an easy choice. She still has a choice, but it's easier to decide between 2 items than to pick from 5 or 6. Now it's time for dessert. This should be as easy as giving candy to a baby, but it isn't. Dessert must be sold.
Would you like our homemade hot apple pie? Or we also have a delicious parfait made with fresh strawberries. The parfait sounds wonderful.
Fine, and I'll take the pie, please. And thanks for suggesting it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
They appreciate the suggestion. They've been sold a mental picture, and they're happy about it. Homemade hot apple pie. Delicious strawberry parfait. That's the power of suggestive selling. You'll find it reflected in the size of the check and of your tip. That, too, is the power of suggestion. Remember, her success is not accidental. Pat knows her menu, and if there's something in it she doesn't understand, she's willing to ask for help. Remember, too, that your guests are people. They want and expect your help with their food selections. Make your suggestions colorful and limit them to 2 items at a time to make it easy for your guests to decide. A good waiter or waitress can make it a pleasant meal and still pass the moment of truth with a full order and a sizable tip. But it isn't accidental. You have to work at Why do people select one restaurant in preference to another? A lot of what sells them is just plain showmanship or atmosphere. As a waiter or waitress, you are the star of the show. By the way you serve your guests, you can make the evening a hit or a flop. You have an important role to play throughout the meal, which you must perform skillfully and courteously. But your big scene comes at the moment when you actually present the food or beverage. For your guests, this is what the rest of the show is all about. From soup to dessert, a well-trained waiter must know how to present food properly. This man has made a good start, with cold soup served cold in a chilled cup, and to the lady first. Soup spoons are brought to the table and placed to the right of the other silverware as the soup is served. Notice that he ladles carefully, not spilling a drop. Note the direction of the service from the guest's left. This is the basic rule followed in most American restaurants. Food from the left whenever possible. Hot soup must be served while it is still hot. It is the waiter's responsibility to present the food while it is at the peak of perfection. But there is more to presentation than putting food on the table. There are a few tricks of the trade used by the more successful waiters and waitresses. When you place a lamb chop before your guest, point the ribs away so the meaty part is easy to get at. With steaks, the wide end toward the guest. Why? Because it's the most tender part, and his first bite will be cut from the most delicious and enjoyable segment of the steak. Little things count throughout the meal. Thoughtfully anticipating the need for more butter and handling it carefully when you make sure your guest has enough for potatoes or bread. Knowing when more water is needed and knowing how to pour without spilling. Notice that beverages are served from the guest's right. The rule in most American restaurants is beverage from the right, food from the left. Sometimes you will be expected to serve casseroles or other dishes at the table. This is a convenience to the guest, and if done properly, adds to the feeling of gracious service. Watch carefully and notice the proper method of handling the serving spoon and fork. The trick is to make it appear effortless and graceful without spilling. It takes practice, and you must not try to take too much food at one time. It may not seem like much to you, but to your guests, this is the kind of extra attention that is really appreciated. As a general rule, do everything you can to make it easy for your guests to enjoy the food. You may be asked to remove the bones from fish or the head and tail. Do this away from the table. Place serving plates with all meats closest to the guest. Unless it's an oval plate, which always goes lengthwise before the guest. A lot of your guests' enjoyment comes from the garnishment, condiments, and accompaniments which go with various dishes. Although the chef often takes care of basic garnishment, a waiter or waitress should know what goes with what. Here are some suggestions. With fish, you can usually use lemon, which is colorful and adds to the taste. Tartar sauce may often be used. And again, lemon, which sets it off nicely. Lemon can be shaped in many ways, used with many kinds of food and beverage. Fruit lends itself to beautiful garnishment, with lime, with sprigs of fresh mint for color and taste. romance iced tea. And speaking of green, notice what a little watercress does for a steak. The secret of garnishment is imagination and color. Jams and jellies are always right for any breakfast that includes toast. Syrup is an old familiar accompaniment for pancakes and waffles. But you might try applesauce for a refreshing change. Your final chance for showmanship comes with dessert service. In many establishments, carts or trays of desserts are brought to the table. Presenting the cakes and other pastries takes on the flavor of a ritual, with the waiter or waitress skillfully tempting the taste buds of his guests. But whether your guests order from a cart or a menu, dessert should be served properly. Fork or spoon presented at the time dessert is served. And again, service from the left. Showmanship is a combination of many things. The appearance of the food itself, the way it is placed on the table, the little extra touches that help create the atmosphere of gracious service. And the little things do count. Even the way you pour a cup of coffee, the extra care and attention to protecting the guest, and making sure the handle of the cup is right where the guest's hand finds it easiest to reach. The meal is complete now. The show's over, and it's time to take your bows. You've taken extra pains to make it a successful performance, and that kind of effort is always rewarded. Not just with the tip, but with the sense of satisfaction that always results when you know you've played your part like a real professional. Finest restaurants to the From the very finest restaurants to the average commercial operation, teamwork is the secret of service. But there is one member of the team who, if he does his job right, is almost invisible. And that man is you, the busboy. If you do your job right, people hardly know you're around. But you're important. Maybe you've never stopped to think about it, pal. But without the job you do, things would come to a screeching halt without you, Mr. Busboy. Enter the busboy. Since your job takes you out in front, neatness and good grooming are vital. You may be invisible a lot of the time, but when you are seen, be seen at your best. Know what is expected of you by your employer, in appearance and in your duties. You'll be surprised how much more comfortable you'll feel on the job. Do your cleaning work thoroughly. Always remember that you are preparing for guests. Remember to clean the chairs also each time they are vacated by a guest. Always keep an eye out for wear or damage to chairs. When handling table service, be sure to keep your hands away from that part of the metal which comes into contact with the food. Every busboy should learn the proper table setting for the establishment which employs him. This is a standard setting. Each piece of silverware should be parallel to the next piece, with handles all the same distance from the table's edge. Learn good work habits and take pride in all the materials of your work. Glasses should be checked for water spots and traces of lipstick. For sanitary reasons, keep your hand as far away as possible from the lip of the glass. Now your tables are cleaned and set, and your guests have arrived. Now you are part of a food service team, which aims to make eating a pleasant experience from start to finish. Your attitudes have a great deal to do with how much your guests will enjoy their meal. Polite, efficient service is always appreciated. Your first duty is usually the serving of ice water. Water and all beverages are served from the guest's right whenever possible. When filling a glass, don't pick it up. Make sure it is in a safe spot and pour. Rest of the meal, you are an important part of the team. It is your duty to assist the servers in anything they may ask you to do, such as filling coffee cups, helping prepare an item of food, or bringing butter to the table. Remember that any food item, such as butter, should be presented first to the ladies. When removing plates between courses, it is sometimes necessary to ask if guests are finished. In many places, house policy requires that plates be removed from the guest's left. But the convenience of the guest comes first. In the handling of soiled dishes especially, quietness and politeness are the rule. There are a few simple rules also about bussing dishes which will save you and everybody else a lot of headaches. Load the heavy items and lighter items for good balance. You will save wear and tear on the china and on yourself by stacking plates carefully and not too high. Nearly 75% of dish breakage occurs on the dirty dish table. You can do your part to prevent this by placing glasses, cups, and silverware in their proper places. Keeping people happy is a big part of your job. An alert busboy who is always ready for those small extra services adds greatly to the enjoyment of the guests. Keeping water glasses filled may seem to be a minor detail, but prompt attention will give your guests the feeling that extra care is being taken to make their meal a pleasant one. You can give them that feeling simply by paying close attention to the progress of the meal and noticing any time when something seems to need attention. It is always pleasant to know that there is someone around who is trying his best to be of service. Your other duties should not keep you from noticing those moments of crisis which arise when you can step in and be helpful. And while we're on the subject, ashtrays should be emptied when they become unsightly. Part of your job is to make the meal a clean and neat experience from beginning to end. Yes, keeping people happy is everybody's job in the food service business. But many of the most important little details fall on the busboy. Long after they've forgotten what was on the menu that night, they will remember the atmosphere. Whether it was friendly and efficient, whether they were treated as guests, or as just another bunch of customers. And you, the busboy, will have helped make that atmosphere a pleasant one. After they've gone, oops, don't spoil your record. It's safer and more sanitary to handle them one at a time. Like that. People, waiters, dishwashers, other busboys. Getting along with people is a talent no busboy can get along without. But it's surprising how much better people seem when you know your job and take pride in it. the atmosphere just wouldn't be the same. For you, Mr. Busboy, are an important member of the food service team.